What up, what up? Fantasy football hustler back at you, joined with my man Bogard, scot-free of the GMM network, and we are bringing you fantasy news today. What's up, bro? What's going down?
You know what I'm saying? Just back in the studio, you know what I mean? In the caves of Afghanistan, because I am Osama bin Laden, the fantasy extremist.
Oh, yeah. Better late than never. He made it. Representing the Daily Sport and our man Taco.
Hey.
Oh. Han having some technical difficulties. I'm sure he'll be back.
that Cena shit goes crazy, though, every time. That shit goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know he did a song with E40?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of tight for considering. You know what I mean? It's so random.
John Cena's a savage, and yeah, that even that little clip or whatever, I can't remember. It was like the Cadillac Chrysler or the Cadillac something, like that was like their theme song, or I don't even remember, but yeah, people love John Cena.
I always hated him. I thought like to me, he always looked like a giant wrestler that sold everything too safe. You know what I mean? Because, like Brock Lesnar, he's a giant. He could go in there and destroy your ass. Right.
Oh, yeah.
But like Cena, it's almost like he's going to break everyone. So like even his F5 didn't look his FU didn't look impactful. You know what I mean? Then he started using the STFU. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
As a submission. And it was like, come on, dude, you'll just break anyone in half. Like, I don't know. He seemed to me like it was almost like Jericho when he got older. Like everything, he wasn't selling nothing. Like that running bulldog, ain't nobody getting hurt off. You know what I'm talking about? He sends you to the ropes, or he sends you to the corner. He comes off the ropes. Does a rushing, yeah.
Fuck that. And does the little backflip off the jump off the ropes, little backflip. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was more impactful in his later years when he got the love handles going. Because now it was like, oh, okay, he's a 280 pounder or 260 pounder now coming off that little baby moonsault.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, John Cena. Like, every time I hear his music, I was always on the side of John Cena sucks.
John Cena sucks.
It was anytime he came on, like, there was half the crowd, let's go Cena, and then the other half was Cena sucks. Like, that's how, as much as, like, I kind of hate on him, like, if you're getting people to love you and hate you, and, like, there's no in between, like, everyone's yelling one way or the other, like, you're definitely doing your job, that's for sure.
Hey, it's funny because when we do this show Fridays, if I have the stew door open, you hear the garbage truck, so that they're coming right now.
Ha!
Yeah, back the truck up. Let's talk about our first topic. Is this back the truck up?
All right, let's see. Actually, so TD is joining in, and let's see, Taco is joining in too. What up, TD?
What's going on, bro?
What's happening, TD?
What's going on?
Man, Claypool's dying on me. That's what's going on.
Don't let the cat out of the bag yet. That's not where we're starting. We're starting with the 49ers.
Okay.
Right now. And because we know a lot of people are banking on George Kittle for sure. And he was at practice, but the coach said he is not guaranteed to play. That's part one of San Fran. And then part two, Elijah Mitchell, the start decision is not coming until Saturday. They said he's still hurting. He's still sore. Bogey, what kind of news you got out of 49ers camp or out of 49ers practice?
According to my sources, you know what I mean, which is a crystal ball, right? As I peer into this crystal ball, I see a future where they shouldn't play Eli Mitchell selfishly for all us Trey Sermon having ass motherfuckers, because we want to take them to church on Sunday, because if this Seahawks matchup is so soft, bro, like we want all the work to go to one running back as possible, and that would be my man Trey Day Sermon.
Yeah, TD, what do you think if Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon are both healthy? You starting either one of them? Which one would you start over the two? What are your thoughts on the running backs?
Elijah Mitchell all day. Especially if I have to have them. But if I don't, I will wait it out this week and see what happens if both of them healthy. That way what the trend is, what Kyle Shanahan's going to do when they both healthy. But if I have to play one, I'm playing Elijah Mitchell.
Taco, you're a little in the matrix, but what's your thoughts on the backfield for San Fran?
damn, this Matrix out here is crazy. But I mean, honestly, in a fantasy football best case scenario, they sit out Mitchell one more week, make sure that he's fully healthy. You get one more week to see what happens with Sermon, because so far with Sermon, I don't think they're too impressed. I think this is setting up where you could be looking at Mitchell as going to run that job for the rest of the season. So personally, I hope that they give it one more week, especially with the Seahawks matchup, because we need to see what Sermon really is. And if they can determine that at this point, then we will know going forward who do you want to roster from that backfield. Which would be Jeff Wilson.
Because we even saw Alexander Madison get off versus the Seahawks. So you already know, if you can't get off versus the Seahawks, there's definitely something wrong with you.
And we all know Alexander Madison is no Sharon Stone.
I knew you would go right there. I was just sitting there. I'm like, yo, don't disrespect the man. He's not that bad.
I mean, he's not that bad. He's just not that good either. I mean, kind of right in the middle.
He is no Sharon Stone.
Listen, he's better than Mike Davis. So that's
I mean,
who wins in a fight, Alexander Madison or Mike Davis? I think Davis he could take a lick, man.
Dude, Davis is fucking huge, and he has this tiny head and this big body. So I'm sure it'd be hard.
He has a very small head. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that.
Bro. I'm like, yo, his calves are like two sizes the times of his head. You know, it's crazy.
All right, now let's get into the Steelers
in UFC.
That'd be wild. Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be nuts. All right, let's get into the Steelers though. Bogey already teased it a little bit earlier. So the good news out of Steelers practice is Deontay Johnson and Juju full go. The bad news out of Steelers camp or practice is that Claypool did not practice today, and he was limited in practice yesterday. So that's pretty much like the worst telltale sign that you have of a guy not playing is if they're limited on Thursday and they don't play or don't practice on Friday, and he's got the hamstring injury. I would be expecting Claypool to be a full sit this week.
And it's a 1:00 game, or at least if you're from the West Coast, 4:00 game if you're from the East Coast. So you're going to have, if you're depending on Deadpool, you're going to have a pivot. My favorite pivot all the time, and me being Bostradamus, I called the pivot for anyone who had to wait on the Green Bay game last week. If you're waiting on Mitchell or any of these things, and I said pivot to MVS, he actually did his thing, but he's hurt as well. So I don't know if he's the greatest pivot. I think the Deadpool thing is, I think he will be limited if he does play. But the fact that he did get into a limited practice, maybe this is precautionary, or is this an injury that happened today, like that? You know what I mean? Like, or did it happen yesterday? Because he was limited. That means he's been nursing this, right?
Yeah, he's been limited all week because of this. Well, until today, which he didn't practice at all.
Because that's really weird. Like, if you're limited all week, you usually would want to progress, like go to a full go or stay limited. When they downgrade him to a DMP, that's eyebrow raising.
TD, what are your thoughts on the Steelers in general right now and their wide receiver core?
I'm probably not going to play Claypool. Even if he is healthy. If Juju's back in Deontay and he's talking about an injury, and it's a lot of targets, and they gave Najee 19 targets last week, I just don't trust playing Claypool, so I would try to pivot. I would try to go ahead and start working the waiver wire now. You got guys out there like Westbrook from Tennessee, so you got some pivots to go off of. But I'm not playing Claypool if Juju and Deontay plays.
What about our man? What about our man, the legend, James Washington? If there is no Deadpool, it's in a deeper league. Is that a route to look at? Because oddly enough, he gets a lot of work when he's the third option.
But that's a healthy Big Ben. I don't trust it not with a healthy Big Ben. I don't think Big Ben can get James Washington the ball downfield. The guy that I think is going to get targets would be Najee Deontay Johnson.
And Big Ben, just for some context, we know that Big Ben, he's not going to be 100% all season. Like he's an old man who's brittle and banged up. But he was a full go at practice on Thursday and today. So, I mean, whatever that means, but he's still banged up. You know that much.
I do like this game to potentially be a high-scoring game, but I want to stress the fact. Actually, I don't even need to stress the word. I want to put it in air quotes, potentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because that could be an ugly game.
It probably will be. Taco, what are your thoughts on the Steelers and their wide receiver core?
I mean, coming into the week, was Claypool not the only healthy one? I thought it was Juju and Johnson that I'd be worried about. For him to be showing up on the injury report now and him the only one not really participating on this Friday really kind of scares me. It also makes me think that this boy Juju might go off. Because Juju, he's low-key been pretty solid so far. And I think in his first game, he got a lot of targets. I know in the last game, Johnson got a good amount of targets. But I think that Juju and Johnson, if they're able to just stay healthy and get on the field, I think they're good to go, set it and forget it options where I think regardless with no Chase, they're going to be priority. And I think that sets up Najee and Daly. If you're telling me there's no Chase and this is the setup, in Daly, I'm kind of liking this opportunity that Najee might have this week.
Well, I mean, the Packers, this goes back like all the way back to the Mike McCarthy era, like with Mike Penton as their DC. They finally canned his ass this season and got a new guy, but they still can't stop the run. I'm saying this dates back. So Najee is in play off top on the ground, but if he's going to continue to get double-digit targets, I'm not going to say 19, but give him 10 targets, bro. And they're all going to be very catchable passes because, it's not like they really got him out there running crazy routes. They got him out there just catching out of the backfield as a safety net.
Yeah, and I feel like, go ahead, Taco.
I was going to say 10 catches for 30 yards is still points.
And I mean, that's probably an understatement. Like, I mean, they're going to need to go so much underneath the Najee. He could have 20 targets again because, I mean, we already know Green Bay, they're going to try to stop the run as much as possible. They got Jair Alexander out there. They're going to leave him on an island. Whoever he's going to be covering is probably going to be Deontay. And they're just going to try to shut down the run and force, Juju, guys like that. But you know who I'm really high on this week? Pat Freiermuth. No, Freiermuth. Oh yeah, like flying pants, hands. Oh yeah. Like I mean, he's a baller. That dude is a stud. He got a touchdown last week. Limited targets though. Claypool is out, and he's going to get the kind of targets that Claypool would kind of normally get.
Which would be the red zone or maybe even a third down look, like a possession look, because they're looking for, Big Ben, he's really predictable in that sense too, where he's like, I'm going to look for the guy I can 50-50 it to. You know what I mean?
And he's huge.
All right, so I got a question for you guys. What if
Briar Tucker
if he throws 3 interceptions in this game, do we start to see Dwayne Haskins?
No. Not in a big game against Green Bay.
Yeah, not
if he has 3 interceptions. Let's just say they're going into if they're in the third quarter and Big Ben got 3 interceptions, you're down by like 21 plus points.
Well, that's a different story.
Haskins?
Yeah, that's
if you're down multiple possessions and you're just like, this is not your day, Ben. Sit. You know what I mean? They'll do that, but not like we're still early in the game. Like in a shutout scenario or like a multiple possession deficit in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I could see that then, but doesn't mean he's losing his job. That means it's not his day.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That to me also means that the wheel is spinning. Where at that point in time, if you're not going to let Ben go out there and down 3 touchdowns and go out there and do what he got to do to get his reps right, then that means you're starting to look at Haskins like, you know what, Ben, you may not have it. Haskins might be his time because
Haskins has been the healthy scratch though. Haskins is not even listed as the number 2.
Who are they using? Mason Rudolph still?
Yeah, the racist.
Oh, that bastard. I mean, he could play. He played better than Ben so far. I mean, he got them to the playoffs or damn near the playoffs multiple years now.
If it was a 9 and 7, I mean, if it was a 7th seed back in 2019, yes, the Steelers would have been that number 17 because they finished number 7 in that conference. So, but I'm not going to go. I'd still say that was all my man, the Duck. You know what I mean? He actually came through for them, not the racist. I'm saying.
All right. Shout out to everyone who's celebrating 420 on the East Coast. Let's get it. All right. Before we get into the next segment that we got here, I got to remind everybody And Corey shouted it out, so thanks for reminding me, bro. Said looking forward to that Clubhouse session tonight. All right, so if you guys don't know, if you guys don't have the Clubhouse app, go download it. Me and Bogart and maybe Taco and TD, we'll see if they can make it. But every single Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we're going to be doing a Clubhouse start and sit session. Probably going to last like an hour, maybe an hour and 15 at the most. But we're going to do this every Friday and show some love to Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, give me money. iPhone, give me money.
So it's not just the iPhone anymore. Android peeps can get on it too. So yeah, you don't just have to have an iPhone anymore.
I like it. I put no the more link. Clubhouse segregation. I like that. Look at that. We're knocking down barriers.
Well, you know what's funny is
FaceTime jumped that too. You can now FaceTime with Androids.
Yeah. So once it got integrated and opened up to everybody, when it stopped being segregated to the iPhones, that's when Clubhouse kind of got like less cool. I think like really weird, but we're gonna bring the cool factor back. That's what we're gonna do.
You can't spell cool without Clubhouse.
You know what? Clubhouse, I feel like started getting a little bit down when Twitter did the Twitter Spaces. Like that started becoming the thing a little bit at least. That's where it started losing its fizzle. Like, did you see what Twitter Spaces now? You could do like ticketed like events and stuff.
I haven't messed with the Twitter Spaces at all.
You know, of course they're doing ticketed events because this is a world that's made for Bogard. I'm supposed to get paid to do everything.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Bro, I just got approved for that actually. I just got approved for that. So you gotta figure that out.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know how the fuck they approved me.
I'll do stand-up shows, bro.
There we go. All right, here's a good question from my man David. Shout out to the 420 crew. He said, I just picked up your boy Pat Fryermuth from my bench. Should I start him or Noah Fant? And he said 18 deep life.
Noah Fant all day.
How you gonna bench Fant?
And I wouldn't even look if this was a different type of question, like who to stream at tight end. I would look at my man Walt Disney, the creator of Disney, bruh. Because there's no Gerald Everett.
No Everett, yeah.
I like Gerald Everett has been doing so good, right? This season he's been like killing it and getting a lot of targets and stuff.
Yeah, but this is a different.
No, you mean no, but you mean no, but.
Yeah, this is one of those joints where you have a banged up Metcalf, a banged up Tyler Lockett. You know what I mean? And the Niners are susceptible to the tight end position. We're susceptible to everything in the pass game right now. To be honest with you,
the next thing Bogey's going to say is that might as well take a shot on Evan Ingram because Slayton and Shepard.
I just picked him up because people dropped him and with no Slayton. But this you got to start doing the fantasy math. Once you start fantasy subtracting a Slayton and a Shepard, you know what I mean? That equals some ugly Evan Ingram, bro. Listen, I was telling people fuck with CJ Uzomah last night because there was no Higgins.
I'll tell you this,
and you're right.
The one thing that Matthew Berry really introduced that I feel like is so underrated is the word game flow. Game flow is so fucking true because in a blowout game, guess what? Those garbage time points matter. Those garbage time points. Look at Laviska Shenault even with Chark going down, the game flow changed and he blew the fuck up.
But here, a better example in that game is James Robinson. While the game is in hand for them, James Robinson's getting active. Early in the third quarter, they tied the game up. James Robinson's non-existent now because due to game flow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
How was anybody? And this is what's crazy. So shout out to James Coe. He's got some good takes. But he made a post on Twitter and he was like, I can't believe I told somebody to not start James Robinson. I don't know how that wasn't the option. Yeah, that was he was the most obvious start if you had him out of all the injuries and everything.
Who was the other
option?
You
must be in an 18 league. Yeah, you got to be in an 18 league.
Yeah, he probably had another option that was better. But
you have to have 2 or 3 options that are better than him to sit him.
We should expect
2 running backs in the flex.
This is my breakdown. I actually called Hustle last night on this. I said, man, the Jaguars are so young because even they have a rookie head coach. They're so young-minded that they can't, like, their first 15 scripted plays are okay. That next 10, because a team will go anywhere from 25 to 30 scripted plays, right? Like, and then they get into the second half, it's ass because he's still learning how to coach too. He's not making proper adjustments. Look at Zach Taylor for what it's worth. He's been beating good teams. They made proper adjustments at the half, came out swinging.
Do you think that he was just so like, fuck, I wasn't even expecting to be in this position at halftime? Like, they were probably expected to be down. They probably weren't thinking it was going to be a close game or they'd be, tied.
I think they're the guys who look at like they pull up the Vegas shit, put it on the bulletin board. We're favored to lose, guys. Not in my mind. Right? You know what I mean? Like, they are used to winning. They have to get used to losing. They go in this thing think they're going to win. That's why their first 15 plays are actually executed well. You know what I mean? Then they get behind in the game and it's ass. They have to learn the hard way. They've never been, both of these guys, the head coach and quarterback for the Jags, they've never been in losing situations like this. You know what I mean? So
and Lawrence didn't look terrible last night.
No, he didn't.
It looks like he's getting better.
It looks like he wants to get hurt though too.
It does make it easier when you're missing your best safety and when you're missing your number 2 cornerback. I mean, that makes things a little easier.
Yeah.
But Visca season is about to get real, boys. Hope y'all didn't cut him.
I'm so pissed I dropped
him in one league.
I did. I dropped him in one league.
You angry cut him? That's an angry cut for sure.
No, I forget who it was for, but it was for someone who I think I even asked you about it, and you were like, "Yeah, I probably Chenault." I forget who it was.
I would have advised against that. I'm the Chenault guy.
No, it was somebody. It was somebody really good though.
Oh, okay.
I had Visca starting last night in fishbowl, and I had him facing Mixon. So I was like, yeah, buddy, I'm 3-0 right now, going for that 4-0.
Man, Robinson, he's saving me in the fishbowl right now. I think I got him in like 7th or 8th round, something crazy like that.
He's making up for Pitts.
Yep. All right, let's get into the next thing here. And
the stinky Pitts.
Yeah, he's very stinky right now. Needs some deodorant for sure, real quick. All right, so we don't have to.
TJ.
Yeah,
we're so stinky.
So we don't have to comment on this at all. MVS, he missed practice for the 3rd straight day, so I think we can pretty much say he's not going to play this week. You're really not starting anybody except for Rodgers, Adams, and Jones, anyways.
You don't think this is like a absolute bump to Tunyon?
Tunyon, yeah, my bad. Tunyon's the other.
It's still a bad matchup though for Tunyon.
It's not that bad. The Steelers,
Minka's all right in coverage.
Small sample size, but Steelers have been giving up a decent amount of points to the tight end so far.
You're right, actually. Monroe, the island of Foster
Monroe.
How did
A.J. Dillon do last week?
He's still getting limited work.
He's got limited work, but you know what he's doing? Fucking taking away from Aaron Jones. It's not even like he makes it unviable. That sucks. That's annoying.
He's on a Jamal Williams tip, but like just a little bit lower. Because at least Williams was
a lot lower. Jamal Williams was. Aaron Jones had to beat out Jamal Williams for that job.
All right, so here it goes. A.J. Dillon's snap counts. Week 1, 28%. Week 2, 29%. Week 3, 29%. Jones, Week 1, 49%. Week 2, 69%. Week 3, 73%.
Yeah, and that's where he's gonna live. You know what I mean? But actually, so I'll rephrase what I said because Aaron Jones always lived in the 70 percentile of snaps. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is kind of par for the course.
You don't remember when Williams started getting
50?
Yeah, it got really close to a 50-50 split at one point for a couple games.
Because he throughout 2019, I think Aaron Jones averaged 13 carries a game. So yes, you're right. The splits were, but you got to remember this too. In 2019, right? He missed 3 games, right? He also missed time in 2020. So in those games, Jamal Williams gets it all. He doesn't share with nobody. You know what I mean? So that's the allure of AJ Dillon. Is if anything happens, if anything happens to Jones, AJ Dillon gets 100% of it. You know what I mean?
But the other thing is when they had Williams there with Green or Jones, I should say, they would throw the ball more to Williams. There was more designed plays to get him the ball.
Here's the thing, according to PFF, and this was ever since his rookie year, at the position, Jamal Williams, top 5 in pass pro, top 5 graded, right? And so when you're going hurry up, you know what I mean? You're not going to sub anybody out. It was Jamal Williams because Aaron Rodgers trusted him. So that's where the 4-minute, 2-minute drills. It was Jamal Williams,
and that's why Jamal Williams to this day still gives you value.
Oh yeah, when you're that good in pass pro, you're going to stay on the field. They need to protect the QB. All right, how about let's switch it over to the Colts now. Let me see. Who do the Colts play this week? They play the Dolphins. Now, first off, this is going to be a shit show. Now, here's why. Quentin Nelson, he's ruled out. That's the left guard. Braden Smith, that's the right tackle. He's out. Rock Ya-Sin, he's their top cornerback. He's out. Kyrie Willis. Kyrie Willis, that's their starting strong safety. He's out. Kwity Paye, the rookie defensive end. He's out. Colts, I think, are going to get demolished in this game.
Back up the truck, Huss. Back up the dump truck.
We got to fire everybody up on Miami.
Hashtag Gaskin season.
Gaskin, Waddle is going to fucking eat in this game. And the defense, if you were thinking about a streamer and Miami was one of those fringe, defensive streamers, get them to stream. I think Carson Wentz is going to get sacked.
And Benito in Miami.
Yeah.
Pardon my Spanish. I'm not of the Spanish.
Is Will Fuller going to play this week? No, right?
Will Fuller? You mean Will Offuller?
You know it. Because if you're not talking about just Parker, I think that you're right. This might be a game where Waddle can go off.
Listen, man,
Waddle's been going off. He's on pace for 125 catches right now.
How many touchdowns?
3. I'm just ballparking.
Okay. So Will Fuller, full go at practice. Anyone who is worried about Jerome Baker, he's full go. Xavier Howard was a full go. Really, everybody that they had on the practice report is a full go.
Hey, they're going
to win, man.
They're going to continue their takeaway streak, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, man. The Dolphins look like shit, though. They look like shit. That game that they played versus Oakland was two teams that didn't want to win. Bro, did you see those plays that they were running at the end of the game? That final run that they ran on 4th down to get Brissett in the end zone. I'm just watching it it's like.
Is that the Raiders' plan? Is that their plan? Hold on. It takes if it's a good team. So you can hear Chucky now. Hey guys, these guys are a really good team. We're gonna have to take them in 5 quarters, huh? When we get to that 5th quarter, we're gonna be so gassed.
That's what happened to the Ravens. That's what happened to the Dolphins. They beat the Chiefs in overtime, or did they go to?
No. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Steelers in regulation, but the Steelers were beat up. So you know what I mean? Hustler actually pointed this out on Real Fantasy Playmakers last Wednesday. He said, "Hey, everyone they beat had something wrong with them. You know what I mean? The Raiders are fugazi. I can't wait till the Chargers show the world that they're fugazi."
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
listen, I hope the Raiders beat them. I can't
wait till Tuesday morning. I can't wait till Tuesday morning on this show. Okay, we're gonna see who is right.
That's gonna be a fun one.
I hope they win. Not that they are gonna win.
Well, TD, why don't you chime in on the Dolphins if you're out of the Matrix now?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so Waddle. I love Waddle. I love Will Fuller. So I actually plan on later in the season playing Will Fuller and Waddle together, and I think they can be a league-winning tandem because just the deep plays.
Waddle and Fuller. I know Waddle is being used like a Cole Beasley, so that even makes me even more excited about him because I thought he was just going to be like a deep threat guy. So now that I know he can get bombarded with targets, I like them. So I'm going to use Will Fuller and Waddle in the flex together. I think that's a lot of upside. So I just want to advise people, if you can get Will Fuller and Waddle, play them in your flex because one of those guys can boom any game, even with Brissett in the game.
Yep.
And Waddle,
speaking to that,
Waddle might be.
I was going to say.
Go ahead, Taco. Get it.
Oh no, I was gonna say like two wide receivers from the same team. A lot of people shy away from that because they're like, "Oh, I got two guys on the same team."
I got some Mike Williams, Keenan Allen teams, and I'm loving it, bruh.
Same exact thing. I got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen on the same spot. I play them both. I don't care that they're both on the same team.
I think there's somebody. I think it's a buddy from CBS Sports. He calls it the friendship method. When you have two receivers from the same team.
And so Waddle, I mean, he might be like Jarvis Landry was, back in the day. But if he's throwing up 120, to 130 receptions, that's going to be a good season either way.
I like that. He's like new Jarvis for them because he was the greatest yak guy coming out of this draft class, in my opinion.
Listen to these. Listen to his stats for the first 3 weeks. So week 1, 4 receptions, 61 yards. He had the touchdown in week 1. Week 2, 6 receptions for 48 yards, and then in week 3, 12 receptions for 58 yards.
So I'm talking about.
He's not getting yards.
No, he's not. He's not getting the yak yet.
I bet you his ADOT. I bet you his ADOT's hella. Well, first of all, you know why he's not getting the yak? Because there's stuff in the box. They're stacking the box, so everything short is already crowded. You know what I mean? Because there's no respectable passer there under center, whether it's the tuna fish or the meat slab, fucking the grilled beef brisket.
You might as well call him a running back because the targets that he's getting are like exactly like what a running back gets.
So he's not like a Jarvis Landry yet, then, because the yak hasn't showed up. And I'm glad you pointed that out.
James White right now.
Not even, not even, man. James White. Well, actually, yeah. You know what? I like that because at least they are running routes.
Yeah, his longest reception of the year so far is only 36 yards, and that came in the very first week. Since then, his long in week 2 was 14, and then his long this past week was 9.
So
he's not getting any yet.
After seeing what we've seen so far from the Dolphins and knowing that they have an owner that's interested in Watson, is this the team that makes the play for Watson before the deadline? Because we've seen the quarterback. The quarterback play here is trash. This is a team that is a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender, realistically speaking.
I think we might be looking at a Kaepernick, Tebow like situation, like type here going on, and a lot. I mean, so much is up in the air.
You know what's funny with Tebow? They blackballed him for being a Jesus freak. That's what they did to him. That's the funniest.
Yeah, and plus he couldn't throw the ball, but I mean that's beside the point.
Come on,
he was a running back.
Yeah,
all he does is win. It doesn't matter.
Don't start Bogard. Don't start. Him, Tebow is just as good as Lamar Jackson. He just.
I'm not mad.
God,
I love Tim
blasphemy.
Tebow.
That's blasphemy.
I can't agree with that, but I will say Lamar Jackson and Tim Tebow. They're also you know what they have in common? They're freak athletics. You know what I mean? Like they're freak athletes.
Well, I mean, let's be real. I think Lamar Jackson is a better thrower of the football than Tim Tebow, but Dudu Brown can't catch the ball. This is a callback because you actually compared Danny.
Taco's finally come around.
Hold on. Taco spoke of Danny Dimes and Mike Vick and Lamar Jackson in the same conversation.
Listen, Vanilla Vick got wheels. Don't disrespect me.
You know what? I used to get mad when people would try to call. Yes, thank you. When people used to try to call Josh Allen Vanilla Vick, I was like, it doesn't make sense because he's more like the white Cam Newton. He was more like the white Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Because they're big guys. I actually vibe with the Vanilla Vick title for Danny Dimes. You know what I mean?
He's so fast.
How is it because is he that fast? I mean, I know he's not as fast as Vic, but are we saying that he's the fastest white quarterback in the NFL?
Yes,
No,
He might
we
be the
are.
fastest white quarterback ever. Him and Taysom Hill need to go take a race, but Taysom Hill ain't a
But
quarterback.
Taysom
so
Hill,
he
isn't
can't
he
get
like
in there.
half? I thought he's like half
Justin
something.
Herbert is fast.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
this
so is
boy
Trevor
Jones
Lawrence.
is
Trevor
like
Lawrence
that
is fast too. Hey, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert, they're 6'6". They run like gazelles.
We got a campaign
I agree.
to get all the white quarterbacks to have like a race against each other. Run the 40. Let's see it. That would be hilarious.
And you know who's gonna win? Tom Brady, because he's the GOAT.
He's just gonna trip everybody before they come out.
Like, let's race again. He's gonna lube that fucking racetrack with avocado grease.
Avocados from Mexico.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, for the Titans, AJ Brown, Julio Jones officially out for the week. I've been talking about Jeremy McNichols and how if you're deep diving in a league and you need to pick up a running back who's going to get a lot of catches, he's going to be that dude this week.
Also,
Wait a minute,
there's a
Hustler. Why you
receiver
say
there.
that? Because I need to know. Why would you say Jeremy? Because Derrick Henry's gonna be there. Don't you think they lean on him for 30 carries?
They are, but they get Jeremy McNichols involved like strictly for passes. They might even be on the field at the exact same time. I mean, we're talking about them being down their top two wide receivers. I mean, let me see who's next on the
There's
depth.
a third wide receiver
Westbrook
that
and Chester Rogers.
I just added Westbrook
Josh
in the
Reynolds.
league because I think Westbrook is going to offer low key upside because if both these guys are out and you consider that he's in less than 10%, less than 5% rosterage.
I don't
That's
know
upside.
anything about those players' skill sets, so it's hard for me to judge.
Neither
Like,
does.
what is Westbrook? Is he a field stretcher? Is he a route runner? Is he an ex receiver in the making? Like, I don't know anything about him. To
You know
like
what
just
he
throw
is?
him in my
He's
fucking
volume.
lineup.
He's
Yeah,
fucking
but which
He's
volume,
the number
though?
3, and he got.
But which volume
I mean-
is he gonna get? Is he gonna get the AJ Brown type of volume? Is he gonna, you know what I mean? Like, is there even volume there to be
You're
had?
right.
No. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
so what is he?
assuming-
Is he a splash play? They are gonna stack the box
It's-
like shit because that's all they really got, right? So they're gonna keep. They might keep 8 in the
Well, let
box
me-
every time.
This is
And let me give the McNichols stats real quick.
Mhm.
So in week 1, he had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 24 yards. Had a couple rushes too, and then in week 2, 3 receptions for 26 yards, and then in week 3 he had 1 reception for 10 yards, but it went for a TD.
What about the Westbrook dude?
I have no
Yeah,
idea who
that's
he
the guy
was
that I'm
when I
intrigued.
saw him.
I'm intrigued by Westbrook because they have
Yeah.
the first 2 receivers is out. I don't think Josh Reynolds is gonna get bombarded with targets. So I
Right.
think Westbrook has upside. Only
Yep.
reason is because the New York Jets. Any other team, I would say no.
Yep.
I'm only playing Derrick Henry. But
Yep.
just because it's the Jets, why can't
Yep.
this Westbrook guy do something? That's what I would say to you, Bogard. Who
Yep.
cares about his skill set? He's playing the Jets.
Yep.
That's a good
Yep.
point.
And it's
That-
a
that
game where they
actually
have
does-
nobody.
I
And he was-
need to know his name. What's his name? Nick something, right?
Nick Westbrook.
He had
and
like
he was
3 names.
he was the leading receiver last week too, 4 for 53 and a touchdown.
Okay.
So, yeah,
he is.
I'm
so
definitely
he's an
firing him
outside
up
guy.
in some deeper leagues. I'm
Okay,
definitely
I like
firing
it.
him up in a few
I like
leagues.
it. TD sold me, man. It is the Jets, bro. And they're gonna. And I just said too, they gonna stack the box 8 deep every time. So there's gonna.
You know what this is? This is game flow plus fantasy math. The fantasy math is you're talking about 2 huge targets being out, meaning there's an absence of playmaking.
It's gotta happen
And
early
what
though.
that means is, well,
You know what? But you know what though?
you
Actually,
might-
this game might low key be competitive because Tennessee.
Tighter.
Let's not act like Tennessee Titans defense is that great.
No,
You know what I mean?
Nope, they haven't been. And if you look at what their offensive line has been doing, Tannehill has been getting sacked and beat up so far too. So this is a game where the Jets defense, Saleh, whatever you want to go by, you need to step the fuck up because he's
Mahasma
shit.
Lincoln.
You know what
I
I mean?
disagree with that, Taco. He don't have the talent right now. He's a great defensive coordinator for
But
49ers.
it doesn't look good.
And
Here's the problem though. It doesn't look like the whole team. Look, the offense looks bad, and it's not even that it looks bad. It's that we're not improving. It's not getting better.
Is
It's
Tyrod
like
Taylor still hurt
you're
too?
stuck.
Yeah.
It still looks like last year, and you brought in a whole new coaching staff and everything like that. You can't be looking like Adam Gase's like squad.
I get it. But Taco, this is what I say real quick. My Cowboys, when Jerry Jones got there in 88 and 89, when we drafted Troy Aikman, then we drafted Michael Irvin, we won two games. But that was a turnaround. So you have to be able to. So I want to wait to see who they're going to draft and how the rookies and stuff going to progress.
Well, I'm worried about. I'm personally worried about Zach Wilson. I think that they could be stunting his growth by putting him in these bad situations. Because you're literally doing the same thing you did to him that you did to Sam Darnold, and we saw once Sam left the Jets, he looked better.
Oh, you know what? This is a good correlation.
Like how is it that the Panthers in 3 years can get more around Teddy Bridgewater than bring Sam Darnold and have a better situation than the Jets, who consistently had all these?
Because it's great. Because those are good coaches. Those are good coaches. That's why. Like,
but the Jets turned down that dude. They were going to have a chance at that guy.
That's their bad, right? So now
the worst of the worst.
Here's the thing with Zach Wilson. He has a rookie head coach and he's a rookie QB for starting from week 1. It's the same situation, arguably. I mean, not even arguably, but it's just worse than Jacksonville. But that's the problem right now, is that the structure's not there for these young QBs because they're all learning together. You know what I mean? So there's going to be growing pains. But TD
psychologically, that could ruin him.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's get to the next one. What the Bears are talking about, like they're psychologically fucking their rookie QB up right now. You know what I mean?
Because it happens. Like, we see it happen in plain day. It's like you put a guy in such adverse situations time after time after time, and then you have a media out here in New York that's gonna beat up on him mentally. At a certain point in time, you look at Sam Darnold. He threw a trade party. He was so fucking happy to get out of here. Why? Because he knew he's going to get better the second he leaves.
Hey, did you see that?
It depends on how you built. It depends on how you built. Remember, Peyton Manning threw 20 picks? But
that organization is just better. The Jets have been bad since Rex Ryan left. They've been bad for a decade.
The Colts was really bad before Peyton got there. It was terrible. So I just feel like you gotta.
But Polian was good.
Zach Wilson has like a very big ego, and I like that because you can handle this. So I like to see him keep throwing the ball downfield. That lets me know he's not withering. So once he starts like checking down all the time, then I'm gonna be worried. But to me, get that out your system. Learn the separation of the receivers and the cornerbacks at this level.
Yeah, it's a chemistry.
All right, that's enough Jets talk. Elijah Moore, he is out this week, and Crowder, he's expected to play. We'll see what happens. And Bogard,
it's pronounced Crowder. Yeah, I'm gonna go in like 3 minutes.
Yep. So here you go. I want to get this one in here for you, just so you can mix in on this. So for the Bears, Dalton, Andy Dalton has come back. He's limited at practice. Then they wanted to make sure
he has a fire crotch for a beard.
Oh yeah, and Nagy loves him because he said the starting QB is going to be a game time decision, but they did make sure to mention Nick Foles will not be a participant in that decision.
Yeah, and this, I have a real big problem with this because, listen, man, you have Andy Dalton. He's getting limited so he could be the backup to your young QB who you need to teach adversity to. Not like he goes up against, Myles Garrett and company and gets destroyed, and that's not his fault entirely. It's also the play caller's fault because they came out. Shout out to Fornicator. He out there in Chicago. He told me locally they talking about how Nagy is keeping it hush-hush. Who's going to be the play caller? Like that, because you know why? They're tired of getting embarrassing each other. Whoever the play every week, they're switching it off. Whoever's calling the plays is a bum, dude. Like maybe it's the playbook. They're destroying that kid, man. And you better put him in there against Detroit because this is a get-right game right here. Detroit, they don't have the crazy pass rush. Even though they've been in a lot of these games, they just, you know what I mean? They don't have the crazy pass rush that the Browns had. You know what I mean? So I like Justin Fields. They better start him, bro.
Nah, you need to keep Justin Fields on the bench right now. That team is a shit show, and you can hurt the kid. That's they sacked him 9 times. Whether they don't understand how to use him, whether they can't, bro. Like they were saying, it was 5-man.
It was Myles Garrett.
Bro, it was 5. But hold on, it was 5-man protect. Peyton Manning was talking about it. Eli Manning was talking about it. It's 5-man protection. You at no point are you putting extra men in there to protect this kid. It was all play. It was all.
You know what's funny? They got a million tight ends over there. Ain't none of them. They got a million tight ends over there. Ain't none of them can step up and help block. For real. It's all bad. But it's also
they can't even
play
take,
calling,
but
bro.
you can't even take a tight end out and put an offensive lineman in there. Get six.
Yeah, so
people.
that's his fault.
Sacked.
That's not.
Once you get
that's
sacked
not
5
Justin
times,
Fields' fault.
You're
That's
right.
not
But that's why
Justin
he shouldn't
Fields'
be
fault.
playing. That coaching staff is going to get him killed. He's going to come out hurt.
Listen, man.
For everybody who didn't see it, go on social media and search Myles Garrett and go look at the move that he put on the offensive lineman. Like, there's no stopping him. That guy is a beast when he was in his zone, and he was in the zone.
Mason
9
Rudolph
sacks, bro.
He couldn't.
9 sacks. 9. Call Andy Dalton up. We ain't getting this kid hurt.
Listen, man, they have dynamic with him under center. And you can get creative with the RPO. He's the guy that could actually run the RPO.
And that's the other thing. But that's the other thing. They were running the same playbook and same play calls if Andy Dalton was behind center and then with
exactly.
If this is what the coaching staff is doing, then there's no way they should be playing Justin Fields because they don't know what they're doing.
That's why I pointed out the fact that they're keeping it hush who's going to call the plays right now. Because at least if it's Bill Lazor, if it's Bill Lazor, they're going to run more. And that's what we want as Montgomery truthers. For at least speaking for myself.
If I'm the GM,
that's what they need to do for the rookie. They need to run the ball.
I go down to the coach. I say Justin Fields is not an option for you, at least for the next couple of weeks. Get this fucking offensive line fixed out. Figure out your fucking playbook because you put him out there on the. You should have had all of this figured out by now. The fact that you allow 9 sacks and you're running the same shit, and like you said, they weren't running him. They weren't doing things to get him utilized.
Hey Siri, call Ryan Pace.
It's just.
I don't have his number.
It's just shit. You should be sitting him.
TD, get in on this subject before we change subjects.
Yeah.
My bad. Hold on, TD. I got to take off, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Before TD rocks. Hey man, y'all have a good one. You know what I'm saying? FNT. Hey, we getting it.
Yep.
Peace out.
I'm not a big advocate for firing coaches in the middle of the year. I actually didn't think Nagy was really that bad. I thought he just didn't have the right quarterback and that they put Mitchell Trubisky on him. But now that I'm finding out, Nagy is clueless. Why you didn't run any RPOs or quarterback choice with Justin Fields? And,
you can't have the same playbook.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I get what you're saying. So both of y'all are right, Bogard. Taco. Bogard is right too. They should have a better game script and play Justin Fields. But if they're going to do what they going to call those dumbass plays, then no, you don't put that guy in the game and make him take that type of punishment. I think Matt Nagy should be fired within the next 2 weeks if I don't see a better game plan for Justin Fields. And I say that because why I'm not putting it on Justin Fields with Andy Dalton there, because I've seen it in the NFL week. It's quarterbacks that's less than Justin Fields that played better. So I need Matt Nagy to have a better game script or fire him and just get on moving forward into the future.
And another person that needs to be fired is Jason Garrett from the Giants. What he's doing play calling wise with that team is atrocious. Like
it's better this year, though. It's better this year.
It's better this year, but it's still not good enough to be an NFL offensive coordinator. He can go to college. Go to college. You suck. We cannot be scoring less than 14 points consistently. 14, 17, 28. No, we need to fucking move this ball. We need to get some points. The defense is playing good, but we can't score. And then, obviously, we've had some mishaps like the Slayton drop and everything else like that. But I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of Jason Garrett. Like, this is too long now. Last year, we had the same issues with an offense that can't move the ball, that's not creative, that's not doing things, putting people in motion. We look like we're a college offense that doesn't understand what's going on because we're playing in the pros. So that, to me, is not worth it.
Well, Jason Garrett comes from the Cowboys. He come from the Cowboys, and he's calling that old school Emmitt Smith offense.
Yep.
And it ran Zeke in the ground. It ran DeMarco Murray in the ground. And it is running Saquon in the ground. But
he's going to fuck Saquon.
Year, he's getting Saquon out in space. If he can continue to do that, and I think Daniel Jones can start picking it up later on in the season. So I just want to see about Saquon. Yeah.
As far as this week goes, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton not at practice. I don't think either one of them are going to play. You playing anybody, Taco? I think Saquon Barkley has got to be a go. But outside of Saquon Barkley, who else you starting from the Giants?
I think that this might be the week that I would actually give Kenny Golladay a go, just because I'm assuming that he's going to have to be a focal point of this game plan. And maybe instead of like what we're currently doing where they're just running out, we can run some design plays to get people the ball and try to let them use their talent. Because at the end of the day, yes, scheme matters, but also talent matters. And get your guys in a situation where they could do something. He's a talented player. You got to get him the ball. And that's all he's basically been saying, I feel like, in the way he, on the sidelines and everything is acting. For the most part, you know what? He's been a great contested catch guy. Give him a shot. Let him, you know what? It's not always going to be like what a quarterback considers open and what Kenny Golladay considers open is two different things, because we know he's made some great contested catches where it's like he's not open. Oh, shit, he is. But Stafford was able to get him the ball where he can make a play on it. And that's what Daniel Jones has to do. So is that going to be the game? I'm hoping so. If I'm a fantasy drafter, I've spent enough capital on Golladay that unless I have some really good options, I'm going to probably play him this week because everything trends for him being halfway useful. So Golladay I would probably give a go. Barkley I would give a go. And Kadarius Toney is a guy that I might pick up off the waiver wire. And I'm not going to start him, but I'm going to maybe hold on to him at the end of my bench, because if this is a lingering issue with some of these guys being out consistently and he's able to do something, he might be an interesting play.
Now, TD, before I let you chime in here, I got to remind everybody that Kenny Golladay is going up against Marshawn Lattimore. So that is he's got a really tough matchup this week. So, TD, you want to get your unbiased thoughts on Kenny Golladay and the Giants?
Yeah, I think Kenny Golladay, you have to play him for the touchdown upside this week. I think he gets some touchdown, like green zone touches, like the fade ball, the way we used to do with Dez Bryant on the Cowboys, so they have to use him like that. But another guy, I like Evan Ingram this week. I really do. I like Evan Ingram. If you can't use Evan Ingram this week, then when are you going to be
the Pro Bowler? Remember that? He was a Pro Bowler last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Pro Bowl stuff don't matter now. That don't matter.
How many people turned down the Pro Bowl at the tight end before he got it?
Hey, you can't get that sound if you're a Pro Bowler. Get that brink.
Led the league in drops.
Instead.
How you lead the league in drops and you go to the Pro Bowl?
That's not me. That's ownership, and whoever makes those decisions, he made it.
Yeah, and and what is it? Gronk. I mean, he was probably the favorite, but since I went to the Super Bowl, right? You wouldn't go to the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also with Gronk, did you see the news I just broke on him?
What? I saw that he was practicing. What's the new news?
I saw that he was going to be doubtful for this game on Sunday. Let me see here. Yeah, with the reunion looming in Foxborough, Rob Gronkowski is officially listed as doubtful with a rib injury. Gronk returned to the game last week, but status is in doubt. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is a game where we could definitely be seeing if there's no Gronkowski and you're talking about Giovanni Bernard, more than likely he's probably not going to play this week.
He's officially out also.
This is a game. Lenny might be of interest.
Yep. And Antonio Brown and Cameron Brate.
Taco's in the Matrix. We'll let you tap back in as soon as you get back here. But yeah, that was the next thing that we were going to be talking about. So glad that news came up. Yeah, so Gronk. I mean, if you're doubtful on a Friday, you're sitting. Like doubtful is you're pretty much out. I wonder why they didn't rule him out though. It's very, very weird. And then another piece of news that came in here real recently, TD. What do you think about Curtis Samuel coming off the IR? Him and Gibson both practicing. Gibson, he's questionable. He's got that shin injury now.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel, I think he's gonna take away targets from Diami Brown, Logan Thomas, and Antonio Gibson. And I hate to say that, but I think Antonio Gibson goes more to his bell cow role. He gets 20 touches again. They don't have to worry about him using him in the pass game. J.D. McKissick is going to be there too. But Curtis Samuel is going to get manufactured targets. The reason why is to follow the money. I don't got to look at the game plan or game script or call the coach. So they're going to implement him in the game. Now, it's his first week, so he may not get a lot, and I might not start him. So I wouldn't start him, but I would just pay attention to the game. But next week, you definitely going to start him because he's a high-paid receiver.
Yep, and he's been activated off the IR, so you're not probably got to move him out of your IR spot today or tomorrow or whenever you need to make a move. I know that's going to need to happen. And yeah, who does Washington play this week? They play the Falcons. So I don't know. He could take one big one to the house. I mean, a guy like Curtis Samuel really only needs one big one. And the Falcons, they've been real doo-doo lately. That's for sure.
Yes.
Everyone was kind of freaking out about Lamar Jackson because he didn't practice on Wednesday, didn't practice on Thursday. And the coach yesterday was like, I'm pretty damn sure that he's going to play. And then comes back out and he's a full go. What do you want to tell people who freak out about Wednesday and Thursday practices?
Well, this is what I would say. It's okay. Any other play, I would say, yeah, you be worried about it. But listen, guys, Lamar Jackson is a hybrid player. He's different. He's going to get maintenance work like a running back. So maintenance, he's not going to play on Monday. Why would you ask him to practice on Monday? Yeah, he needs to throw to get the camaraderie with the receivers, but he's been taking like what? How many carries did he get, Hustler? 15?
Let me check here. What did he get in the last week? He had 7.
7. And reason why they probably only gave him 7 because I think he was a little banged up with his hip from the week before. So I just think it's just maintenance. That's all. They just want him to be healthy because they know when they need to win a game, he's gonna have to take over the game with his legs. That's why I want to tell people about Tyson Williams. Tyson Williams didn't have a lot of work because they wasn't running the QB torch with Lamar. They didn't want Lamar to take a lot of hits that week. So that's why they threw it more, and the game plan was focused on throwing. So it's just a maintenance. I'm not worried about Lamar. Unless you see Lamar come out the game, then you be worried. Or a soft tissue injury like hamstring growing. But other than that, just him missing practice, don't worry about that. He's like a running back.
Yep, he was. It was the week before where he had 16 carries. So yeah, first 2 weeks he had a bunch of carries. Yeah, last week I think they were trying to take it easy on him a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I think.
Yep, I agree.
All right, let's see. Next piece of news here. Dalvin Cook, so he's officially questionable for Sunday's game, but he's been back at practice the whole week, says he feels good. Is he a full go for you?
Yes. You got him. You especially in fantasy. If he's healthy, I'm playing him. But again, I don't want to get off subject. This is why I go 0 RB. If I got Dalvin Cook on my team, I do not want to be like, man, should I play him? Man, oh my God, did I draft Alexander Madison? Like, that's a lot, man. And he's too. You took him in the first round, so you got to deal with it. So hopefully he comes back and he plays really good this week. But if he don't, hopefully you can got a guy that you can go to unless you got Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison is a key play if you don't if Dalvin Cook doesn't play.
And going up against the Cleveland Browns, so I even said it on my start sit video. Of course, you're starting Cook, no matter what. But I'd pump the brakes on Madison a little bit. We're talking about one of the best run Ds, in the league right now, and giving up, I believe, the 3rd fewest points to running back as of right now. So this is not lining up as a good matchup. What?
Even if you got Dalvin and you had Alexander Madison as a backup, you still not playing him?
I mean, it just really depends. I mean, in the leagues that I have Dalvin, I don't have Madison, so I don't even have to make that choice. But it just depends. I mean, there's some people who are, 10-team leagues, and I mean, there's other starters out there that you might want to play over Madison, versus the Browns, even if you had Cook. So it just depends on the size of the league, deeper league, 12-team, 14, 16. Like, yeah, you're starting like Madison more than likely, but anything less, you just never know.
I agree.
All right, let's see here. What else we got? We don't even have to talk about it, but Russell Gage, he is out. Hopefully, just means more work for Pitts. Definitely going to mean more work for Corduroy Patterson. And actually, we could talk about him. What do you think about Corduroy Patterson so far? He's someone, I believe it was like 8 years ago that he was supposed to be the guy in Minnesota, and he was going to go from the kick returner specialist to their number 1 wide receiver. and we're finally seeing it, kind of now. But what's your thoughts on Corduroy?
I'm angry that I missed out on a 0 RB target. I would love if I'd have thought Atlanta would do this, I would have picked him up in a lot of leagues because I think he's gonna be a league winning player. If guys that got heavy, really good wide receivers, and you can put Cordell Patterson as your RB2, I think it can help you out a lot. So I say, listen, you got Cordell Patterson, you play him, you squeeze that lemon till all the juice is gone. So you play him. Don't worry about Mike Davis, because I got a lot of Mike Davis, but I'm still playing Cordell Patterson in a couple leagues that I did pick him up off the waivers.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely playing Corduroy this week. There's no getting around it. He's the man. And even in the fishbowl, I didn't grab him in too many leagues in a draft, but I drafted him in the fishbowl. So I'm super stoked about that he's been helping my team ball these last couple weeks. And this is another reason why you get him, man. He just keeps it pimping, out here in his corduroy suit and everything. Like, yeah, this is who you're playing this week for sure. Yeah, as long as if anybody's out, I mean, he's a full go. And even if they were at full strength, he's like the only piece right now that's like really working. And I mean, that's including Calvin Ridley. Mike Davis, he's been okay, but I guarantee everybody who drafted Mike Davis, he is not living up to the expectations of what you thought that he was going to be when you drafted him.
Yep, and I got a lot of them, and it's what's hurting him is the touchdowns. If he could if he'd have had like 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, I think he would be okay. He would be a top 16 running back. So in PPR, so it's touchdowns. So I think as they get better with this new offense that Arthur bought over, I think Mike Davis green zone touchdowns comes up.
Yep. And we're starting to get a little bit of the West Coast news coming in. And so Josh Norman for the 49ers, he's doubtful with the chest injury. So just like we talked about Gronk, you got the doubtful tag. You're probably not playing. At least it's not looking that way. So looking a little bit better for the Seattle pass game. And then another one on the West Coast is Daryl Henderson. He's expected to be he's expected to be available this week. What do you think about Daryl Henderson? Is he someone you're playing if he going up against the Cardinals, so they got a pretty tough game, but is he someone you're playing either way? Especially if you're in a 0 RB position?
Yes, I'm playing Daryl Henderson because the only way you beat the Arizona Cardinals, you run it. Because you put the ball in the air, you give them a chance for those athletes, those hybrid defensive players that they have to go intercept the ball, punch it out, make you fumble. So how you beat them is running the ball because they play like a light box. They pay in the pass. You run the ball. So I'm playing Daryl Henderson if he's healthy. That's easy.
Okay, and then for the Seahawks, I know we touched on them real quick in the 49ers, but here was some more news that came out of there. Rashad Penny, and Brandon Shell are out, and Tyler Lockett officially questionable for the game. And then DK Metcalf, he popped up on the injury report on Thursday, and then but he's not listed on the injury report Friday, foot injury. So anyone who might have been freaking out because DK came up as questionable yesterday, he's good to go. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, he's officially going to be out this week with the hamstring injury. And then injury report for the Arizona Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins, full go. But they do have 3 offensive linemen that are questionable right now.
Woo! Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that is yes, they have 3 that are questionable. One of them didn't practice. One of them was a full go today, and then the other one was limited. So we know one of those 3 will probably be playing, but 2 of the 3, who knows? And Kyler, he needs all the help that he can get at offensive line with Aaron Donald. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got through all the news. That is all the news. Shout out to everyone who's watching right now. I just see an influx of people just came on. Appreciate you coming on. Hop over to YouTube. Subscribe on Fantasy Football Hustler. Also subscribe on Fantasy Good Sports on YouTube. That's both of our channels. Subscribe to the GMM Network. That's Bogard's channel. We're multi-streaming on 3 different YouTube channels right now. Shout out to everyone in Facebook. Don't forget, we got the signed Ricky Williams jersey giveaway going down. So get subscribed on my channel, Fantasy Football Hustler, and you're going to get entered into this. And if you want those extra entries, get signed up on Patreon. We got a dope community. It's also about the one-on-one help. We got the live streams that go down 4 times a week where I'm answering questions. And anyone on Patreon, you get priority questions. So the Patreon questions get answered in the first 15, 20 minutes of every live stream. So you don't got to wait around to get your questions answered. TD, why don't you tell everybody where to find you at?
Guys, go to YouTube, go to any social media platform and just type in Fantasy Good Sports and you can find me. I'm providing cutting edge content. Yes, cutting edge content, guys. And also subscribe to my OnlyFans. And guys, my OnlyFans I just started this year, so it's growing. And I'm giving you all type of access to me for as what I do on my part-time, what I do far as like doing like with poker, any kind of like gambling things that goes with sports. I do a lot of that on my OnlyFans, and I'm just available for you anytime. I know a lot of you have questions right before the games, so you can hit me up on OnlyFans. So yeah, guys, just hit me up at Fantasy Good Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, and also subscribe to my OnlyFans for $10 a month.
There we go. Every weekday, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we got the show going down. So yeah, make sure you tap in. In a few hours, in about 2 hours, we're going to be live on Clubhouse. We're going to be doing a quick start and sit session there. So anybody interested, let me throw the link back in there one more time. Actually, I'll put the link in the description of the video because live chat's not going to be up for that much longer anyways. But yeah, go search me out on Clubhouse. I'm in there under the Fantasy Football Hustler. And the group is Fantasy Football Advice. Just kept it real simple. Every Friday, where it's going to be going down 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then got the live stream tomorrow for the questions and answers, and got the live streams on Sunday. And also got my QB and tight end start and sit videos. The QB's already dropped. Tight ends is about to drop like within an hour. So be on the lookout for that. Appreciate all the love, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you later. Peace out.
Yep. Peace.